Or did you shoot them?
Oh, well, we twirled the rifles in the morning. That was drill team, but no, we shot them. We don't you don't twirl
I
rifles with
told rifles
live
too.
ammunition. I mean, you can, but yeah, we had
I
these.
never thought that it would be live ammunition. You would twirl them. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead with your story.
Yeah, no. We had these little shirts that they were like a size too small for us, and they said "POW" on them, and we called ourselves the Peaches of War, and we were all girls rifle team. And then we had one boy on our team. He was like shorter than everybody. His name was Peter,
His name
and
wasn't Peaches.
no, Peter. And Peter was, I think about it now, I'm like, Peter was one lucky son of a bitch. Like, uh, we wore like black nylons with cutoff shorts and tube socks. And when we would go to rifle competitions, like, we were in ROTC, so there's all these like Marine Corps, Army cadets. Like, I think we won a couple like competitions just based on distraction of the competition. My guess is, but anyway,
Hey,
I
whatever.
digress. But that was our theme. Yeah, it was like cash me outside. Like,
Catch me if you can. He says, his what's his name? Christopher Walken is Leonardo DiCaprio's dad, and he's a grifter, and Leo DiCaprio becomes a grifter. And his dad says, the reason why everybody loses to the Yankees, it's the pinstripes. Everybody's wowed by the dazzle of it. So it's like the Peaches of War. It was all about distraction level optimization to get everybody to forget about
it's like, if you're familiar with the prone position, I'm sure that didn't do anything for anybody in the like 15-year-old boy shooting scene. Just
You've been yelling out Peaches for a long time. So
yeah, Peaches.
What the hell did I just walk into?
Oh, hi, Cheddar. I was telling them how my rifle team used to distract all the boys with with our outfit.
Milkshake is better than yours. It's better than yours.
Oh my gosh.
It brings
good
all
times,
the
good
boys
times.
to the yard. I think this is the one I want.
How are you, Cheddar?
I'm good. I'm doing all right. I'm tired because I've been bartending for the last 3 weeks, like nonstop, and it's kicking my ass. But my body's finally starting to get used to it, so gotta go again tonight. Good money though.
That's good. That's good. Look at Brandon. Brandon's bartending simple syrups at the coffee shop. It looks like.
PTSD.
Oh yeah, okay.
Bro, I stole so many of these fucking things, and they're so good for everything.
They really are. I hate the ones that cut off, like the little plastic pourers that do the count for you. I love those.
Bro, these things, I have 2 of them for smoking. One, this thing is perfect for rolling joints, and then like you could pack it, boom. And then you just stab someone on the subway, you can just
you really do some damage with that thing.
It's a nice shank.
And if you need to give a tracheotomy, you're good to go.
Jeez, yeah. Or if somebody's lungs are filling up with fluid, you could just stab it in and like saw that in the movie Three Kings. So
That's a crazy movie.
That's such a crazy movie.
Well, for those of you that are the uninitiated, for this particular modifier that I'm using, it's called the subdivision modifier. And since I'm in edit mode, I get to see the original cage of the cube that I'm basing it on. Now, this is something that I couldn't figure out the last time you and I were working on something, Kanessa. And that is, it's a Shift E key, and it helps you define. There's so many different definitions of edge in Blender, and they each have their own specific purpose. So let me save this. I'm gonna come back to save as. I'll save this as version. I think 8. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And then I'm just going to create a new scene and sort of take you guys through this because it's actually pretty cool. I'm going to get rid of my camera and my light. So here's my cube. And I'm going to select it. I'm going to go to my wrench, which is where my modifiers are. This is my modifier stack. And if I put the subdivision or subsurf modifier on it, it does that. So how do we get the subdivisions and still retain the cube shape? Does anybody know the answer to this, class?
You can go into edit mode and then that right there. I'm going to say click that little 3 triangle thing next to the subdivision modifier to bring that up. Yeah.
Yeah, so that will show us the original edge as projected onto the sub-D modifier. That's not quite what I'm looking for. It's like I want there to be subdivisions, but I still want it to be a square shape.
Oh, you would have to go back to, I think before you do the subdivision, you would have to select all the faces. I just do right click and then subdivide.
Okay. Brandon, what do you think?
You said you wanted the inside shape to...
I don't want it to be a spheroid. I want this to be a cube with the subdivisions in it, but using the subdivision modifier so that I can dial it up and dial it back.
Make new cube with subdivision modifier.
Okay, help me understand. Please explain what you mean, make new cube with subdivision modifier.
So right now you have the... Are you wanting to make the... Are you playing with the inside shape or the outside shape?
Well, it's one and the same. Here, let me move this down so you can see my scene collection asset.
That is the cube with the subdivision modifier.
Yep.
That's what the subdivision modifier looks like in edit?
Yep.
6 planes would be, there's 4 planes in that place with a edge that's like, or a vertice that poked out.
If, like Josh says, if I project it on there, so it's the Catmull Clark whatever map that does it. So it basically takes these 4 points and then it averages out that one face into 4 faces. But let me just go through and show you because I don't think I'm presenting the question accurately enough. Yeah, so if I get here, I'm going to go out of edit mode. I'm going to add another, so that Shift A, oh, let me turn this on for you guys. I always forget to turn this on. So if I go to shortcut viewer, so down here in the lower right hand corner is where I have my keyboard shortcuts set up. So every time I move around, you'll see. So if I do Shift A and then cube, okay, and then I grab this and I want to go on the y-axis, so I'll put this cube over here. So if I take this, I go into tab mode, change to edit, and I do Control R, and I do a loop cut, right? And then I can dial this up. This is one way to do it, but I have to do this 3 times, right?
Right.
So if I select the whole thing again, Control R, maybe, there we go. And then I dial this up to 9. So I'm adding 9 subdivisions so I get actual 10 divisions, right? That's the method to my madness. Okay. So then I select the whole thing again, Control R, go this way, left click, and then come over here and add 9 this way, and then enter. Okay. So now if I turn on vertices, you can see that there's a vertice at each one of these. So this is one way to do it, but that's like, whatever. It took me a certain amount of time to do that.
Right.
But if I come back to, let's see, if I go back to object mode, select this one. Let's say I just want to be able to dial up and back the subdivision amount, but have it, well, there you go. I mean, 0. But I still wanted to maintain that that cube shape. So this was sort of the problem that I had, where if you look in the chatty chat, you see that I want it to be roughly a building block shape. I want it to look like the ABC building block shape, but I do want it to be rounded. I want it to have piping along the edge, so it kind of looks like a building block, so on and so forth.
Right.
The way we do that, I'll go back into edit mode here. Is I think it's Shift E. Yeah, it's Shift E. But I can dial that in and out. So basically what this is, it's affecting is the averaging effect of the Catmull-Clark mathematics.
You're
That's amazing.
extruding all of the faces into it, basically, right?
I'm not extruding it.
No,
I'm
Shift E.
Shift E. Yeah, it's so
Okay.
Alt E is, I think, the extrude face shortcut. So yeah, if I do Alt E and then I could do extrude faces along normals, then whatever. I'm not going to do that, but yeah, Alt E is the extrude along face. So this
Okay, and then
this gets me closer to what I want. So now, whereas I can't dynamically affect this guy right here because it's not a modifier, I can on this one. You can see how I can just dial that up and dial it back.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know if you guys ever use lattices, but kind of using it like this. Like, say I take this and let's crank it up to, let's say, 5. Okay. So now if I go into face selection mode and I just select this face, and let's do Control R. Can I even do that while I'm in here? No. Okay, never mind. Okay, now let's do an extrude face along normals. And you get something that looks like this.
Wild.
Nice.
So then I could take this and I think if I do, is it Control S? And then, nope, that's not it. Let's save.
why is it coming up as a circle?
Because it's averaging between. You know what? I don't know. I do not know.
That's great.
I thought I knew, but then I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense.
If you wanted it to do the where it takes the square, you would just do
It's hard to explain sometimes.
3, right? And it would just be a square instead of a circle.
Maybe. How do I scale? How do I isolate? Like, I don't want to scale in just X or Y. I want to scale both in X and Y, so not Z. So is it scale
minus Z? I don't know. That's a good question.
There's a way to do it so that you do, like, you hit the S for scale, and then is it Control Z? Yeah, that's it. It's Control, and then the one that you don't want to scale it in. So here you go. So hit S for scale, and then Control, and then the axis that you don't want to scale it in, and it will scale in the other two. So anyway, this is just, and I could certainly do, if I select this thing now, if I come out of this edit mode and I go into object mode, select this object, go back in here, there's no way that I could feasibly do this same thing as I did here as quickly. If I select a face, I have to, let me go like this. I'd have to select all these faces and then use proportional editing, you know, or maybe grab this one. So, you know, I don't know what particular application you would have where you would need to do this. But in my particular instance, I do need to do this. But the beauty of this is that if I go back into object mode and then go back into edit mode with this, I'm just working with a low poly geometry, but I get a high poly geometry result is kind of my point. So if I
can I see what happens if you, now that you have added to the original shape, like if you do select all and then the Shift E again, like how it affects it?
Oh yeah, yeah. There you go.
Okay, cool. That's really cool.
What about just one face?
Okay, hold on. Like this one face right here?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Shift E.
It would define the line more. I like that.
Yeah, so it's still going to be a circle, and the only way that it made it not a circle was that it was
It's just pulling the
averaging
face up and down.
all
Yeah.
of these faces. Yeah. So
If you did it on the angled one, would it make like a tent curve?
I'm sorry, what, Brandon? What are you asking me to do?
Yeah, try it on those two.
Okay.
House.
Ooh.
All right, sorry. I got it. I was
Yeah.
just curious. Thank you.
No, that's, I mean, this is FAFO. This is what we do.
I could definitely see how this would be useful.
Right. So if I do Alt E to extrude along normal, go up. What I wanted to do is I wanted to select one of these and then like subdivide this edge right here. So maybe if I go back into edge mode and then I do Control R. Oh yeah, okay, there we go.
Ooh.
And then, you know, put that in there like that. And then maybe go back and do Control.
If you select your loop cut now, the lines, you could do like, you could bevel right there. You could like do all kinds of stuff. And it looks really cool. Argent showed me that like 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Or something.
This is kind of what I was looking to do, though, is like, you know, just go back into face selection mode, select one of these faces.
Oh.
And then extrude face along normal.
Wow.
Nice.
You know, and affect how much that comes out. So, you know, you could make a person.
That's great.
This way.
Yeah, you could. It looks kind of like a ship. Like you can make anything with that. That's dope. You can just keep stretching from that same shape.
Yeah. So if we do Alt E again, go this way. Shift E. You know, so on and so forth. So that's
so cool.
That's the first thing.
It's like a tombstone.
What's that?
It's like a tombstone.
Yeah, well, I was going to try to make it look like an airplane. So if we do Alt E.
13, what's up?
Yo.
There we go. Sort of like an airplane. Like that's the tail section. But yeah, the benefit of this method is I can select any one of these guys, right? I've got this one vertice, and then I grab it, and I can move all of this geometry around because it's inside the lattice of the primitive object. And then I can just dial this back down to 0 because I still have the sub D subsurf modifier on it. And if I need a level of detail, if it's really far away, I can crank that down to 1. If I want to go into it and have the camera close up on it, I can crank it up to 5 or 6, right? So, you know, if I'm this far, oh god, my fucking scroll wheel. If I'm this far away from it, I could probably get away with this.
Perfectly detailed at that distance, yeah.
Yep.
That's so cool.
So, let's go. Yeah, it does kind of look like Tombstone there. Anyway, let me save this as just a subsurface example.
For animating purposes, you can have a low poly for distance shot and then a high poly for like close-up shots, and it'd be the same model. You just scroll that detail up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know that in actual video gameplay, they do this. Like, you model your characters so that they're in low poly, but if you increase the subsurface, it's topologized in such a way that it will add detail where it needs to be. Instead of, you know, sometimes you can subsurface modify something and it just adds triangles and you don't really get much additional detail where you need it. But yeah, if the camera moves in close to the character, you know, and it's not a pre-rendered scene, if it does that on the fly, then it can dial back the subsurface modifier all the better, because you're saving resources. Because yeah, if you come in like this, let me go back into object mode. If I right click on it, and I could do auto smooth, shade smooth, you know, whatever. I can come in here and make an edge sharp or whatever. But yeah, if I go back in here, you can see the different color of the edge, and that's because I did the Shift E. But if I oh, whoops. Let me go get an edge.
Yeah, it's because you have extra vertices on there. You have to delete those.
Yep. Here, let me select this one. Go to edit mode. So if I'm trying to remember how to get the, maybe I just go here to the menu. Yeah, so here it is. Shift E is edge crease. That's what I wanted to show you where it was. So there's mark seam, there's mark sharp, and there's edge crease. These are all ways to signify an edge or a crease, and they have different purposes. So edge crease is what you use if you're going to be using this subsurface modifier, and you need to dial in or out how much it's affected. All right, back to the task at hand. Don't save. I want number 8. There we go. Okay. So what I'm trying to do right now is just, I'm trying to create a Brandon, have you done cloth simulations?
Not yet, but it's been on my bucket list.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm working on with this. Did I?
Hell yeah.
Did you see?
Yeah, I saw the beginning.
Did you see the initial cloth simulation?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Here, let me. I actually did a. I have an application called Peak in Linux, and this is just a really quick, easy way to. This is how I record a lot of my GIFs. Is you just click record as GIF, and then it makes a file. As long as it's under, you know, it's about this resolution, and it's under about 10 seconds, it'll be less than 15 megabytes, and you can upload it to Twitter, is what I found. But I already have some of these, so I want to put them here in the chatty chat for posterity. Let's see, is that the one? That's not the one. This is the one. Yeah, here you go. So yeah, it doesn't always work out the way I think it is, right? So when I inflated my previous object with the piping, it just sort of Bleh. So I'm trying to figure out a way to keep the piping there, and I want to have it be a rigid part of the object so that it holds its shape.
Inadvertently, you made a pretty dope trash bag.
Congratulations, you have made a trash bag.
Make that into a wearable.
There's my 2 cents for the morning.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to show this to you, but once you go through the simulation, it bakes in a shape animation, right? It goes through all these calculations, and it's a shape animation. And then you can just pick a frame of that shape animation of like, oh, I want it to look like this. And then that's your new model, okay? And then at that point, I'll add a procedural texture on it. I'll put a material on it. I'll add the letters and everything. And then I'll bake that into a texture. And then I'll take the high resolution version of the backpack and I'll retopologize it. And I'll apply the wrinkly texture that I created from this cloth simulation. See the wrinkles. If you look at the animated GIF and you look at the part of it where there's the wrinkles, let's say I want to keep it like that. I just bake that into the texture and then I apply that to a low poly mesh version of it.
If you use your subdivision, or what is it called?
Subdivision surfaces, subsurf modifier.
Yeah, that one. If you're using that for your modeling, you could duplicate it and then remove the modifier. Like, what is that called?
Instancing?
No, I guess, but like, basically make a copy of it, and then instead of remeshing it, just using that as your low poly and bake straight to that.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
And cut out that whole part of the process.
Okay. Thank you, Josh, for that.
But your mesh of your high poly, like that, the low poly version that you're actually editing, like in the subsurface modifier, as long as that matches your, like, it's a duplicate, then you should, it'll work.
And if you bake the image texture on the high poly and then just bake that same image on the low poly, it should look the same further in close up as well, right?
Because the UV will be the same because it's based on the original math of the okay, cool. Thank you for that. I did not think it through that far, but that's really helpful.
That was my thought pattern with the whole video game thing. Is like the same low poly, high poly, and just bake the image on.
It's probably what
Josh
they do. Okay, so I think this is pretty close to the shape that I want. Sort of. I don't know. Oh, weird. It made an extra edge there for me. Where that wasn't there before. Interesting. And it's kind of got an edge here. So I wonder what would happen if I put an edge in here. I just do F to make it. Oh, that looks like ass. Oh. Yeah, I don't like that. It's one of those situations where I want it to do a certain thing, and I'm trying to make it do what I want it to do, but I don't know how. So I'm just having to fuck around. Oh my god, I
75% of my workflow.
Right.
Okay, so I think 5 is the level that I need it to be at, but here I'm actually going to okay, so what you said, Josh, is like make a duplicate of this because I want to
Yeah, if you're done sculpting it, like modifying it, you just go back to object mode.
Yeah.
And then duplicate it.
Okay. So that's a, what is it, Shift D?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's do Shift D and then X, move it here and X. Okay. So now. Oh.
So then you can remove the modifier if you want on the low poly one because you don't need it. Probably a good idea just to make a duplicate of your subdivided one or subsurface one, just to have.
Well, I just did. So
no, I mean like a third one as a spare that you can just not, in case you mess up the process somewhere, like you'll have, I don't know. This is just what Argent told me, so that's what I've been practicing. But
okay, well, let's just call this backpack 00. Let's call this backpack 01, and this backpack 02. Okay, so here's 02, here's 00, here's 01. So now what do I do?
So you can remove the modifier from the low poly one. It's going to be your low poly one.
Okay, so doom, like that. Okay.
Yep.
Let me
and then,
shade flat so I can see a little better. Okay.
And then I don't know what's going on there at the bottom, but you got some polys like crossing up or something.
Yeah, it's because I've got a planar four-sided polygon that's not all the vertices aren't in the same plane. And it's, you know, there's a triangle here, there's a triangle there, so there's coplanar faces. So if I go back in here and I add an edge there. Oh, see, fuck, it didn't work. Hold on. Yeah, I've just got some weird
if you do end up having to basically remodel parts of it, make sure you just do it to the high poly one and then duplicate it and start from there because your mesh has to match up.
Yeah, okay, so what I'm doing here, don't do that. Yeah, okay. Shit. Just fucked it up. But I think this needs to be like this because it's not gonna, oh, well, that works. That looks good. Sorry, I'm having a moment. Okay. How do I flip the normals again? Is it N? No.
I just use the little mesh menu up at the top and then go down to normals and then flip will be the top option.
It's Alt N. See, I think that's messed up. Yeah, okay. Okay. I think this needs to be my base shape. Quite honestly. I don't think it's going to work any other way. Okay, so I could have this be my base shape and then so I need to delete these other two and apply the subsurface modifier to this one. I think is what I figured out. So
nice.
Thank you.
Of course.
So yeah, I come here, add subsurface modifier, go into edit mode, Shift E. Doesn't appear to be working. Maybe. Oh, it's already dialed in. That's weird. Are you seeing this?
Is it doing something different?
Yeah, so it's got is this purple? This color?
Mm-hmm.
Edge? Yes?
Is it purple?
Yeah.
It looks purple.
Okay. So I just
Magenta.
wanted to refer to it appropriately. So this purple edge,
Oh,
that signifies the, yeah, if I come in, oh, I'm not in, I am in edge. Oh, I need to, that's it. I didn't have it selected. So now, Shift E, and now it will, you know, have the harder edges or not. Oh, that's really cool looking. Huh.
isn't it oddly satisfying?
Yes, it is. Okay. Nice. All right, so here's my high poly version. Actually, I don't think I need it to be that high. I think 5 is good enough for the simulation because the more polygons you have in it, the longer it takes because it has to calculate all those vertices. Okay, so now you say I go back into object mode.
Mm-hmm.
And
so then you're going to want to duplicate that one. Oh. Yeah, exactly.
God, this mouse. Fuck.
And then remove the...
Oh, I need to make one more duplicate.
I'll be right back. I got to
That's cool.
address my dog.
So I come here, remove the subsurf modifier. Okay. So now I've got, you know, I could even do this. I could go like, this could be like 3, this could be 5, and I could look at the different levels of complexity, a level of detail. Kind of like what you were talking about, Brandon. Or I could do, you know, like maybe 4 on this one, 5 on this one, maybe duplicate it again. And do 6 on this one. That's good. Let's do that. There we go. So here, let's crank this up to 6. Nice. Okay. So I select this one. I need to save the scene. That's what I need to do. And then I'm going to apply my modifier.
You can leave it. You don't have to apply it because you can select apply upon exporting.
I do in order to run the simulation.
Oh.
It has to be a mesh that it can do a shape animation on.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes
simulation.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah, no, that's all right. Oh, let me turn this off. Let me turn off show normals because I know they're all going the right way. And now, okay, if I click out here, there's a couple ways I can do this. I can select the edge, or if I hit Alt, so that's like, that gives me the loop all the way around. Or I can select the face, hit Alt, and select that face, but I don't want it to go that way, I want it to go that way. So now it's like, it's looped all the way around. Let's see, I'm gonna get this guy too. Get both of those. And then I want to get this guy and this guy. I want to deselect this in here because I want it to be all one square.
Do you know how to deselect like multiple at a time? Can you do that?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's so deselect is control. So if I just I've got my circle select tool here, but if I hold down the control key and I just select this edge right here, I think that will deselect this whole loop. So just like this, watch. Nope, didn't do it.
It's still faster than one at a time.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have to expand your circle out?
I mean, what I can do is I can hold down my control key and then just paint down
Oh,
like that.
that's actually, yeah.
Yeah. So just a different selection mode. But yeah, see, I want to include. Oh, Alt Shift. There we go. There. So yeah, I want to get that. So this is going to be the piping all the way around. So Shift Alt this one. Oh, that's why. That's what I was running into, was the other one. Okay, so that's correct. And then I'll do that with this one, Josh. So I'll hold down the control key and I'll just unpaint or unselect these by just running the cursor across those. And same thing here. Okay. That's selected correctly, and I think I just have this one to do. Is that a bird?
Yeah.
You got that 2007 dub outside, bro.
That's a cool sounding bird.
Hey, the simulation wouldn't be complete without him, you know.
Is it an owl?
I think they're just doves.
Oh, well, that's even better. That's super cute. Okay, so if you refer back to the sketch over here on the right hand side, you know, you got the thick lines. So this top part right here is where the B will be. This is where the A will be. This is where the C will be. I'm going to apply those later after I have simulated the cloth. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the piping, and I'm going to do that by Alt-E, extrude along normals. There we go. So if I come in here, you can see my piping all along here.
Yeah. Very nice.
I think it looks pretty good. If I go back into, oh, I want to shade smooth, and then it'll look even better. But here's the problem. When I do this, when I inflate this, these things go away. So what I can't figure out is how to make them not go away. That's what I can't figure out. And my thought is, this is my thought process. If I actually come inside the backpack here and I look at the piping, right? True piping, it's actually, so this whole surface right here is like what goes against the back, and this is the top part where the B would be. This isn't how piping works. Piping is that these two, if these were two pieces of fabric, these would actually be stitched together. So if I select this,
so those would be pinched more, right?
Yeah. So like this vertice and this vertice, here, let me frame that up.
They'd be closer together because all the layers of fabric would be stitched through.
Yeah. So what I'm wondering is, you know, can I just do that? Can I just join it with an edge? You know, join these edges together. I don't know. But here at FAFO, this is what we do. We fuck around and we find out. So that's kind of my thought. What do you guys think? Do you think that'll work?
is that gonna help with isolating those parts when you do the fabric thing?
I don't know. I just started using that tool last night, the cloth simulation tool. So I do not know if this has any effect. But I thought I could do a little trial. Right? So there's this one corner. I don't know, maybe I need to like select all of these and make it a face. I mean, we could have it be an experiment, right?
Yes. So then what, after you try it out, I'm just thinking like a little bit ahead when you do like your baking and stuff and you lay out your UV mesh, where are these going to land on that?
I don't know.
Are they going to be overlapping onto something else?
You
know what I mean?
It's like that's so far down the road. It's like I'm 20 steps away from doing that.
And that's why you save like periodically.
Yeah, exactly. In fact.
So then if you like, well, fuck, this isn't gonna work, and I have to go back.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if before you do the fabric simulation thing, if you could like select all the faces of the where the piping is and like somehow like lock it, like choose to lock it like to where it doesn't, no effect is had.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. I thought you were gonna say like make a vertex selection group, but that's even better. What you're suggesting. So like if I come out here like this, you can kind of see where the shading is. I've got that extra stuff, but yeah, that would be something to investigate because I don't know. Maybe there is something. There's all sorts of different settings, and I was fucking around with those settings and rigidity and stuff like that. So yeah. Anyway, here's the object. I go back into object mode, I think. So along here, this top left corner, this is where from the corner out to about here is where they've got the faces, and then up along the corner, up along this top ridge, is where I just added the edges. So we'll see if this does that. So with the object selected, I go into my modifier stack and I choose cloth. Okay, then I turn this to I tick that so that I can look at the controls for it. Okay, so now that's taking me out of the modifier to physics properties. Right, so now I'm in a different tab, but I applied the modifier here. So if I need to go back and do anything with the modifier, just click on that. But now I'm in physics properties. So I come down here and I turn gravity off. Because if I don't and I run the simulation, it starts to fall. And then it's like, where the fuck did it go? It fell. So the next thing I need to do is I need to inflate it. I guess, you know what? I don't even need to inflate it. I guess I could just turn on the whatever you call it, the simulation. But I'm gonna add some pressure just because I don't like how this sags. I want it to be puffy like an actual backpack. So I'm gonna turn this on, and I think I entered a value of like 10. Okay. And then I messed around with some of the other qualities like the cloth. Let's see, what is it? The physical properties. No, stiffness. This is what I messed with. So like the stiffness, I think I doubled that to 30. Bending, I have no idea what that is. Shear, I don't know what that is. But whatever. Tension, it makes sense. So let's say shear. I guess that would be, I don't know, the stretchiness. I should really look this up, but I'm not going to. I'm going to FAFO it. But there's something else called internal springs, and I wonder if that's something. Tension, compression, max tension, max compression. Like, could I make a spring between this corner and this corner, this corner and this corner? I don't know. Well, anyway, let's fire this bad boy up and see what we can see. Okay. So I've got a start frame of 1. I'm going to do an end frame of 100. I'm going to change this down here to 1 to 100. Okay. And then I just hit bake. And right now you can see the timeline down at the bottom going across. And it's running the simulation. It's taking all of these vertices and simulating if this were cloth and how far apart those vertices would go and how they would react and stuff. And I think it's just so amazing that this is a free program that I can run cloth simulation on. And with some other tweaks, make something that looks super real. That was like the hardest thing to do back in like 1995, 1996 when I was first doing computer animation, to make anything that looked like self-colliding cloth on a character. And that's when Pixar came out with Jerry's Game, and they had their first experiment with cloth simulation and subdivision surfaces too. And yeah, it was just like mind-blowing. But we wait for it to finish baking, the cloth simulation anyway, and then we just run the animation, hit play. Look!
Nice.
It
Ooh.
did.
Okay, it looks like you got somebody in there trying to get out. You should put can you put
Huzzah.
It looked like it farted and it filled up the bag.
Is it the faces or the edges? It's the faces, huh? That
It's
look
the
best.
faces, yeah. It has to be the actual
And I
faces.
think those extra points on the corners are causing those mess ups on the corner. So if you got rid of those extra vertices, it might be cleaner.
Yeah. But I'd say this is a successful test.
That's dope.
So if I go into tab, and let's just select all these guys and, come in here. I think it's a shading issue, but yeah, you're right, Brandon. I think if I clean up the vertices, you're saying I may have some extra faces or something in here.
Yeah, see right there where it crosses over, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was able to get rid of, let's see, delete vertice. Ooh, okay, no, wrong, bad.
That came out really good.
Well, anyway, I know what I need to do now. Somebody's in Decentraland. I can hear it.
Oh, that's me. Sorry, I'll mute myself. I'm at the Tomonoya talking to Gene Simmons. We're excited because the Tomonoya is opening back up today.
Oh, and are they gonna have blackjack?
Yeah, blackjack and roulette. You guys can get 2,000 free banked ice in a half an hour. Go to the DG Discord. There's going to be a new chat thread. You put your address there, and then at the tournament, they'll airdrop it to you. So free banked ice.
Damn.
What is? Okay, you know what? I don't want to know because that'll like try to go.
Yeah, sorry. It's just
stuff like that. I
the
just
only
want to
way.
stay far away from that.
Yeah, you just can use it for gambling. That's
Okay.
and like stuff. But,
So you can earn ice now playing blackjack and roulette.
Yeah, I think so.
That's
Or
pretty
you
cool.
can prizes. I don't know.
The only
Okay.
reason I'd be interested in that is because they have prizes of land, of
Yeah.
land that they're giving away.
Land in like premium spots on the entire map.
Okay, so question for you, class peanut butter gallery. I want to extrude these faces. If I come over here, oh my god, I just want to throw this fucking mouse out the goddamn window. Somebody's trying to get out. Let me out. So yeah, if I come here, I go back to it. I go back up to 5. This is my question for you guys. I'm going to duplicate this. What I want to do is I want to extrude the faces. So I'm going to apply the sub D modifier. Now if I go into this mode, faces, what I want to do is I want to keep this surface here, but then I want to extrude or add the piping to that so that I don't have to go back in and stitch all of those faces. They're already there. I just want to extrude faces off of this. Am I making any sense?
I would do it.
What's that?
I would do it from the what is that other option in the subsurface modifier where you turn on the cage of the it gives you the edges of the original and just loop cut and like extrude from that, and it'll do it to your subdivided or subsurface version. Kind of how you did before when you were making the little airplane. Like maybe select the top edge and then do.
Time out though, Josh. I think yes, I get what you're saying, and I could do that, but it's still gonna be, it's gonna be a lofted surface. It's not gonna have a surface with an extrusion on top of that. Or am I incorrect?
No, I mean, I get what you're saying. I was just thinking, like, if you take your, where the purple line is, the seam, I believe it's a seam. Like, say you select that entire line, and then you do the, like, make a bevel. And then once you make your bevel, you take those points that you're, like, trying to join together before you do the inflate thing or the fabric thing, and just merge them together so that, I guess that wouldn't look right actually, because it would be too close together for how many like layers of fabric there would technically be.
No, but that might work.
Like, say you did like beveled that, but instead of just beveling it by 1, you beveled it by like 3 more edges. You know what I mean?
Okay, so.
But I would do it from.
Okay. Yep. So let me go back here to this guy, and let me make a duplicate of this. Let me add the subsurf modifier. Crank it up to 5. Okay, so you're saying go into edge mode. I'm in edge mode, and select that loop. Okay, so I don't know where.
Pretty much all the loops that you would want to have piping, like everywhere.
I'm just going to do this one because, I don't need to spend the time to select all the other ones. I'm just testing out this
the theory.
Okay, so I've got this loop selected. Now you're saying add a bevel modifier to this?
No, yeah, just Control B.
Okay.
And then you'll use your mouse scroll and movement to like so however wide you want it to be, and then if you scroll with your middle mouse or however your mouse is, it'll add how many like loops you want in there.
Oh, okay. Oh, that looks really weird. Look, it looks like an accordion.
It kind of does. Great.
Sorry, I can only go up with my broken fucking mouse. Okay. So let's say I just want these 3 sections. So two subdivisions, 3 sections. That's what I want. And then Now what do I do?
How did we get it to not pick out the averages? Because you would want it to maintain its shape, and it's like causing
I think I can do
weird.
that after with the other
Okay.
modifier.
Yeah, I guess from there you would select your middle faces out of the 3 all the way around, so that you would select those 2 faces. I think you're on the edge selector.
Yeah, I'm just looking to see what I've got, and it's just these 2 right here. Yeah, as you said. So I go here, and then select. Oh my god. This one. That one.
And that one, yeah.
And that one. Okay.
Yeah, and then bring them out,
Okay.
Like grab them and pull them out just to give them a little bit more height on the outside edges of the bevel.
How do I move along?
Maybe you could just scale. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Alt scale, maybe.
Here we go. That looks like it's working.
It's like a UF.
Oh, look at that.
That's pretty cool. The ABC backpack doubles as a tent. You can camp inside of it.
And a glider if you fall off a mountain, apparently.
Yes.
Okay, so whatever. I'll scale out a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab an edge. I'm going to grab this edge, and I'm going to take this edge. Fucking God. Okay. I'm okay. I'll be fine. Oh, I'm still in normal. I want to go back to global. And I want to do GY and just bring this bad boy out. Yeah, there we go. Okay, whatever. Let's just say that this is my piping. So, is this kind of what you were talking about? So bringing this
right, and
out.
then and then the edges that are on the outside edges of those ones, like bringing those ones closer to the ones beneath them.
Okay.
And merging them, the vertices. But you'll have like that hard flat edge where they meet. That's what I was trying to kind of getting at after I said it won't look like the layers of fabric because they'll be merged literally at the same, you know what I mean, at the same point instead of
I think then I need more than 3 sections because now it's going to be
just flat kind of.
Yeah, it's not going to be a tube piping. It's going to be it's going to be just a flat piece of fabric. So I need those additional steps to have it come out and around. But okay, so if I go into vertice selection and I select these 2 right here, maybe. Okay, this one and this one. And then I merge those 2 together, is what you're saying, yeah?
Yeah.
Josh, you're a genius. You're a fucking genius. I don't know what I do here, though. This is all kind of wonky.
It's probably just hiding inside there.
Yeah, let me just kind of get close. Yeah, you're right. It's hiding inside. It's a weird geometrical thing. So if I just kind of come around here like this, and then do that, and then do merge at center, and then come back outside. Oh, look at that! Yeah, see, if I had like an additional vertice here and here, then it would, I don't know, maybe this will work. Fuck, this might work. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. I need something to cast a shadow so that when I bake it in there as a texture, it creates an image of that. I'm sorry, you were going to say something else.
Oh no, I was just when you bake it to get that like additional detail in the shape.
Mm-hmm. So this, and then where is the one underneath? This one, I think. Oh fuck.
But I do think you're right. Like if this does work, then probably adding a couple more like edges in there that you can widen that up a little bit, because piping definitely, because it's like it is fabric that's folded and it looks like that, but it has that weird wax string, whatever it is, you know what I mean, that paper wax string that's in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's like a cotton cord, something inside of it. I know what you're saying. Okay, so this is just our test. Let me go back into. This is gonna look so weird. It looks like a trash can, doesn't it?
It looks like the theater in Hollywood, the Chinese theater.
Oh yeah,
It reminds me of.
Man's Chinese theater. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me shade this smooth. Let me go into. Oh, you know what? Maybe I can put a cloth modifier on here. Maybe. Okay, so does it go in? I always forget. Does it go in this order? So the sub D stack is first applied and then the cloth is applied, or does it go the opposite order? Because I need to do the cloth simulation after the subdivision surface. Well, whatever. We'll fucking find out.
From what you said earlier, you applied the subdivision or the subsurface,
Right.
and
I'm
then
just
do
wondering if I have to apply it? Can I keep the modifier on there? Run the cloth simulation? I don't know. The tutorial that I went through, it told me to apply the sub D or the subsurf modifier and then run the cloth simulation. I'm just wondering if I can get away with. I probably can't, but whatever. We're gonna try it. Let me save this. Let me go File, Save As. Let's add some pressure. Let's do 5, and then let's bake it, and we'll see what happens. I love listening to the bird sounds.
pretty peaceful. My dog is behaving. She's just laying here hanging out. The birds are making bird noises.
Yeah.
Nice.
They must be some kind of dove, like a turtle dove or mourning dove.
Yeah, if I can get a picture of it, I'll put it in here. Not exactly sure where it's coming from. To me, it sounds like it's coming from everywhere. It's kind of weird.
We have Josh bird watching it.
And yours is that Scott's or yours, Josh?
That's
the birds.
The birds.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Kadessa. What was your question?
Oh, whose stream are the birds on?
Josh.
Okay, cool.
I was just. If you're not watching the stream, you can't see what I'm pointing my camera at. I was pointing my camera at Skylar. Skylar's asleep in her little bed right by my desk.
Jeez.
For like an hour-long walk this morning. That's why I was late. I kind of got into the book that I was listening to, and I'm like, oh shit, I got to start walking back home. And it's not like I can. I guess I could have run home. I would have been really out of breath and really sweaty. But yeah, that's why I was late. Because I kind of got lost track of time.
We're here for it.
Okay. Oh, shit. I forgot to change the end for the simulation. Now it's going to 250. Fucker.
You said it was 100 frames?
Yeah, well, my animation timeline is set to 100, but the bake for the cloth simulation is set to 250. Yeah, and it just takes up, resources. 68 megabytes of memory right now, whatever. I've got 64 gigs, so I'm not super worried. But I can't run the simulation until it's done. Well, while we're waiting, I just wanted to check in with Cheddar Queso. How's your shoe coming? Are you there, Cheddar? Maybe not. Yeah, if I can't even increase the timeline to see it. Yeah, see, I just want to do like 100 frames. I was doing just 50 frames, and that kind of gives me a pretty good sense of what it's going to look like. Really cool after this is that I can go into sculpt mode. So up here in the upper left-hand corner is object mode. There's edit mode. There's also sculpt mode. And in sculpt mode, you can grab a cloth brush. So you move it around, you move the high poly, subsurf modified object. You move that around with the cloth brush, and it's like you're painting wrinkles on it, which I thought would be pretty cool too. So it's like I'm making an actual 3D model, and then I'm taking pictures of it, optimizing it, and putting it back on my low poly. Okay, moment of truth. Shall we run it? Fucking yeah, look at that. Job.
It looks like an airbag deploying.
I don't think it looks as good as the other way.
Well, but this is what I want. I just need to refine it. It's really big. There's a high volume for it, but this is exactly what I want. I just need the piping to be not so fat, right?
Right.
And
that's true too. And if you do select those back edges, like alongside like those ones, like those corners won't like it'll look better. That's true.
Yeah, I think this will help it retain its shape. So I think what I need to do is I need to do this not as the sub D is still on it. I just need to select this object right here and get the piping around it where I want it to be, and then do the sub D on the whole thing, if that makes sense. Like I don't need all of this stuff here. You're right. I can do it in the low poly version, but then to prep it before I run the claw simulation, that's when I put the sub D on it, and then do the claw simulation. But it answers the question. I don't have to apply the subsurf modifier before I do the claw simulation. I can just have it here because look, let's run it again. Let's bump this up to 6. Let's say, oh God, it's terrible. Holy shit. Oh, but I can come in here and I can delete the bake. But oh, that just totally just shredded it. Shredder. Okay. Let's select this. Let's delete the bake. Yeah, maybe it just doesn't work. I thought I could come back and oh, now I can. Look, I just upped it to 6. And then if I wanted to run the simulation again, I could change this to 50. Right? And then bake it again. Oh, it's going so much slower now. There's so much more geometry.
You turn the frame down, the end frame down, but the geometry is up so much more.
Mm-hmm. Well, that also answers my other question of what order the stack needs to be in. It applies it from top to bottom. So it applied the sub D surf first, and then it applied the claw simulation on it after that.
That's cool. That's good to know.
Yeah. All right. Well, Cheddar's not here. Let's see. I need to get some food. I've been on for how long? An hour 15. I'm going to go ahead and stop, get something to eat, and I'll come back. If Cheddar does come back, just let her know that I want to see what she's been working on. If she has any questions. So yeah, if you guys could let her know that, I'd appreciate that.
Thank you, Scott.